Introduction to Sketchbook. Okay, let's start with working the tablet. As we said, we can take our position like this. The tablet and the keyboard are in our hands, and the monitor is in front of us. Now I want to talk you about a program that I and a lot of my designer friends often use, the Sketchbook program. I will say this program is a one-to-one simulation of your sketchbook or paper. There are many design programs like this and much more professional. As we all know, there are programs that contain all the design elements. The reason I choose this program is that it's a program designed for simple and neat illustration. The interface is very simple. There are icons only for drawing. That's why I prefer it. If we start to examine the program, we see the most basic icon, pen. Let's draw a line. We have a soft edge icon under it, which, as we used to do in sketches, draws fainter lines. Under it, we have an icon with a charcoal effect, making cut and drawings. And we have a paintbrush that we can use to paint flat surfaces underneath it. Under our brush, we have an eraser. We have a softer eraser under it. Under erasers, we have pencils with various tips. Next, remember from toning lesson, please, we have a brush that gives the effect we call a blurring effect. Under this brush, we have a pilot pen, a pen to draw more dominant lines, and a pen with a thin cut end. We have an icon that can break the shape of the line like this. We have another icon as we have soft effects with our finger, which helps us to give the blur effects. We have an icon that sharpens the edges and the lines. We have an icon above which is made up of 4 small arrows. Call it the move tool with which we can move our drawing. We have an icon like this to add texts. Then there are paint bucket and ruler types. Look, I opened a ruler like this. We can make and more our drawing according to this ruler. It is a digital state of the ruler we know. We can rotate it. We can do it the way we want it. There is also a straight one of the same ruler. Remember the perspective lesson. I can draw parallel lines like there. There, I have an icon that transfers something you draw on one side of the page to the other. An icon designed to make practical drawings. There are 2 pieces up here, colored rings. The one on the left, I mean the one with the light color, is an icon to enlarge and reduce the size of the pen of your choice. When I move the cursor right in the middle and drag the pen like this, the tip of my pen grows. And when I do the opposite, the tip of my pen gets thinner. The other ring is a color palette. We can choose the color we want from the inner palette. And then we can choose the tone that is darker or lighter from the tint frame. as you can see on the right. There is a window. This window is a layer window. In this window, as I just mentioned, we can just drop our simple sketch on the bottom, then open another layer and work in more detail on top. Once our lines are clear, we can delete the bottom layer. When you click on the layer you see in the middle, you will see some options. The icon that contains the green plus allows you to add another layer onto the existing layer. The icon with the cross deletes selected layer, which you work on. The icon with the letter is used to give names to the layers we work with. The icon under the merge all the layers to a single layer. Then, if we continue in the clockwise direction, it will combine the working layer with only the bottom of it. This icon locks the layer. The icon layer with the big red cross hides the layer, making it invisible. The icon above it copies the layers. You can choose all this form here practically. Over time, as you begin to use the program, you will find that our program is very practical. You can also copy and paste your work to make it darker. Or you can create the line spacing by putting on it as I did. I can copy this hue again and make it darker. Look, this is half the tablet. As we mentioned, provides practical possibilities. The more we use our program, the more we will adapt to it. I want to mention one more thing. At any time, you can add a photo to your page through the Add Image command in the File tab. Remember our object status. You can add a photo here and draw over it by adding another layer. The program gives us almost everything that we can do with paper. I will recommend this program, which can be called the digital version of our sketchbook, to anyone. There's another icon I want to mention. When we press the spacebar, this shows up. This is an icon that helps us to move paper, and we can zoom in or out the magnifier through this. As for the bottom section, it turns the orientation of the paper on the screen. Remember, we were rotating the paper a lot while drawing, and since we can't rotate the miniature in a digital environment, this icon allows us to rotate our workspace easily. In this way, we can continue our drawing as we like by turning our digital paper. As we continue to use program, I will continue to introduce other elements that will help us with the things we draw. For now, let's start using Sketchbook with the main lines.